Hello, everyone. Hi. So, I got my chart read a few days ago, right? And I just wanted to publicly come and say that when I say take it as it resonates, please take it as it resonates. I think there's some like me stuff sometimes, and I might talk about it like we stuff, and maybe some me stuff is we stuff, but some me stuff may be me stuff, and if me stuff ain't we stuff, take it as it resonates, which would mean don't take it, right? Hold up, wait, let me turn this light on. There we go. Yeah. So my nodes are in my north node is in Sagittarius, my south node is in Gemini. So for the space of where we are right now and where we've been since about May of 2020. I'm liking this antinodal. It's an antinodal year for me. And so maybe some of the ways that I'm going, not entirely, ooh, maybe some of the ways that I'm going though aren't necessarily the ways that we're all going. And I was getting my chart read, and she was basically like, I got it read by Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings. I love Hemi. And I've talked about it. It's been one that's been in the works. I would not have been ready to receive any of what I received before like Tuesday. So the fact that it took some time to get it done, and I knew it was meant to be. I got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards back here that I'm about to pull because why not? Reem, hey, how are you doing? I'm just talking about how weird I am and how no one should listen to anything that I say. Nah, to some of the things that I say. You shouldn't listen to some of the things that I say because apparently my journey in this lifetime is to be human and to have as much human experiences as I can, to be here, to have fun, and to learn. Hey, Corey. And it was like, I'm going to send her a message. Oh, I guess I could screen record clips of it because I was sent into a little spiritual shock. We'll say I experienced some spiritual shock recently, and it's funny because honestly, it was confirmation for what I was already feeling. I've been trying to figure out what exactly it was for a good I think since like October or November 2019. That's when the feeling started to come in. But to like receive confirmation of it and then to receive more confirmation of it and then more, I was just like, okay, I can't deal with this. Like I thought I could. Like I thought I was ready, girl. But cue the internal resistance, right? And so um I was working through everything that I need to work through. And then I get the reading, and she's like, "Oh yeah, confirming that basically." And she's like, "Your soul looks like it was one that was like, oh, it looks like it's going to be interesting. I haven't incarnated in a while. It's as good a time as any to be a human, and there's so much going on." And so while I'm over here talking about how like how beautiful and how wonderfully like made and created we are, and everything that we have the opportunity to experience because of who we are, because we live in duality, and because we get to experience so much, we get to be so much, where you know maybe your path is to be more who you are spiritually, and not to be more of who you are in a physically incarnate sense. So I was like, oh, and then she was talking about it. I was like, yeah, this is literally me. Like, why is this literally me on my channel talking about how awesome it is to be a human and how we should like really take pride in that instead of trying to be so much more. But also at the same time, it's for us to be all of who we are. So, it's not to neglect the other parts of ourselves either, because I don't know how that'll necessarily work. And it was just a really, really awesome and interesting reading that, again, I would not have been prepared for before I received it. But how are you? How are y'all today? How are y'all? How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? 1 second. Trying to grab these cards. All up in the camera. DNA surgery. This is interesting. One time I had a dream that I was training somebody. And you feel that too. Okay. I'm glad to know I'm not alone. I was shook. It's hard getting those two on board. You wobble to find the middle ground and show the reality of all of it feels bipolar at times. You've cried already. What? 102 and you're see. I did hear you say that you're back in the desert. And I was like, so you like in it? I'm like, I can't do that. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm glad that you're out there doing it for the collective so I don't have to be someone who's out there doing it. It's not my path. And I'm glad it's not. And I wish you all of the best on yours. Yeah, that's what Rob said. He's like, you may be done with the desert, but the desert ain't done with you. You're good though. I'm glad to hear it. And that's another thing that she said in the reading too. And I was like, I might clip that and share a bit because it may be applicable for some of us out there if that is our path. Ready for intercepting. I'm gonna have to use my other glasses because this print is tiny. If I can find them. Hello. Hello. Where are you? I thought you were here. Oh, here they are. And apparently Shiva is a thing lately. I've only seen Shiva twice. I guess I saw Shiva and I didn't even realize that it was Shiva. And then last night, I'm subscribed to T Series, and a Shiva video popped up, and I watched it. I listened to it, and then I went back and I saw the same thing earlier today, and I saw, oh, that was Shiva. I'm like, okay, well, if Shiva comes through again, then I guess I'm on a Shiva cycle. Rob, oh snap! Hey, Rob. I was just talking about all the shock that I've been experiencing in my spiritual life lately. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. This is oh gosh. My eyes have Lakshmi has been coming through there. Oh, interesting. Oh, this guy's a little dusty. Flip one face up warrior or spellcaster type monster on the field into face down defense position. Ready for intercepting. DNA surgery changes. Yeah. When you activate this card, declare one type of monster. As long as this card remains face up on the field, all face up monsters become the type you declared. So back to this. Oh my gosh. There's been big shocks there too. Yeah, I haven't. So the trick about not hashtag not all Pisces, but the thing about a Pisces is that we can be very open about things that we can be open about, but we're not necessarily any more open and vulnerable than anybody else. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't talk about. There's a lot of stuff that I do talk about, and I am vulnerable with that. But there's still two yet, quite a bit that just like I just like sort of sit with. And then after I'm done processing it, then I can talk about it more often than not. Yeah. But I was like, okay, this is a lot. Where did my phone go? I like literally just had it. So the dream I had a dream one time that I was training somebody, and I was using my gift and they were using their gift or whatever in the astral sense. So it's like gifts sort of operate differently over there. And at the end of the dream, I found out that that person's gift was that they could rewrite DNA. I was like, what? I was like, what? And this was at the time where, things were first starting to go down. And I was like, well, if you can rewrite DNA, then you can inactivate some DNA strands that may be single stranded that work into your cells and then rewrite your DNA potentially. It was just interesting. I was like, what the freak? I had another dream last night. What was it about? I had a few dreams. I've been having a lot. They were like really, really chatty last night. It was like I would have these like one line dreams. And it was like, do this, do this, do this, do that. This is happening. That's happening. I'm like, okay. And then I woke up and I didn't like take down any of it, so I don't even fully remember. But Featherwind, what's Featherwind do? You can only activate this card if there is a face-up elemental hero Avian on your side of the field. Negate the activation of a spell or trap card. I don't think I have elemental hero Avian, but Avian is connected to the blue Avians, which we found out via Corey are they had some correlation to ancient Egypt. So, and the Eight of Wands Orion card. I think I got all the cards. These are Yu-Gi-Oh cards, by the way. Like I say, take everything as it resonates. If it's not for you, don't take it. Yeah, I definitely like I keep it until I feel like I'm like it's time to share. So yeah, it's wanting to escape situations, carrying bra and thought. Oh, that makes sense. That's a whole brick. Okay, some of this is interesting. I'm just having fun today. We're having fun. Hey, Light Beacon, you're all about that escapism. Well, as a Pisces, I can tell you that I agree. I escape for as long as I can, and then they catch me, and they're like, okay. I corner myself, and then I'm like, all right, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So I guess I'll finally do whatever. Where did I literally just have my phone? Hey Siri, where are you?
Here I am.
Where is here, girl? Hey Siri. Oh, never mind. I found it. Let me see. Let me see. Never mind. I love Siri, if you can't tell. Yep, this looks like all the cards. All the cards that just fail. So this is a lot, and I wasn't going to take all of these, but I've noticed something interesting. And, and then she was also like, where are you? Here I am. Where's yeah. That's like 99% of my interactions with Siri, by the way. Ariel, hey. I'm like, hey, Siri, like, where are you? I can't find you. And Siri's like, I'm right here. Or she'll be like, wherever you are. I'm like, okay. Um, but she was like, yeah, like you're this soul that's like having this human experience. And so like sometimes it's like it's too human for you. I was like, yeah, yeah. Cause once it gets to be too much, I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't like this anymore. I'm not having fun. It was just so interesting. But anyway, So the first card that came out, there's a stack of like 7. The first one is compulsory evacuation device. And compulsory evacuation device came out. Compulsory evacuation device came out in a time where like a lot of it's like the first or second time I used the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and it was a lot of like clearing the board energy. So like compulsory evacuation device, it was a card where you throw your whole hand away and then you got to draw new cards. But it doesn't send it to the graveyard; it sends it back to the hand. And this is an energy. It's like maybe there's something that you did that is kind of sort of in the space of being undone, but not in a way that you can't redo it. Like you can make the same play if you want to. It's almost a little bit of that it's almost a little bit of a time loopy deja vu type of energy. It's like you're about to make a choice or decision and then you're like, wait, and then you kind of sort of see it play out a little bit and you're like, maybe I won't play this. Maybe I won't play this card. And then next is a Sakuret's Armor. It says you can only activate this card when your opponent declares an attack. Destroy the attacking monster. So this is another way. So you could send the monster back to the hand or you can destroy it. And then this Ready for Intercepting card came out again. This is why I took it. Because Ready for Intercepting sounds like, you know what this feels like? Ready for Intercepting, it now feels like we've reached a certain point. It's like when you've learned the lesson. And because you've learned the lesson, you can free yourself from certain situations. We'll call them karmic. Because the point of a karmic situation is to learn a lesson. Well, sometimes you learn the lesson, but the situation kind of continues to play out. But with this Ready for Intercepting, it feels like we're ready for like divine intervention to come in some way. And it's interesting again because the cross and the letter, the cross, the rider, and the tower came out in the Mirror Truth Lenormand. And it was this interest, it was this energy that like you've been asking for something, you've been manifesting something, and it's about to come in. And the rider moves quick, and it can be unexpected. And so there's this energy here of like us sort of doing everything that we can to stay grounded, to stay aligned in the midst of some tumultuous times. And it almost goes back to the energy of that shortcut. It almost goes back to Persephone's interference with this Ready for Intercepting energy. It's like you just have to hold the line long enough for the forces to come in and then do what they do. And now like after I saw Ready for Intercepting, I see the warrior returning alive. I'm like, what? Ready for Intercepting and the warrior returning alive. Like, okay. And so far, this is all trap and spell cards. Hey, LB. Yeah. You. As soon as I'm like Persephone, and she pops up. Hey, LB, what's up? No, what Tyrannus today? Actually, it might be. I don't know. The warrior returning alive. Select one warrior type monster from your graveyard and add it to your hand. The only card that would send a monster to the graveyard is the Sakuret's Armor. Right? And it would only be destroyed if it attacked something. We're just going like all the way there today. Right? Take it as it resonates. Excuse me. As always, after that, I'm like, don't listen to me. Use loads and loads and loads of discernment when it comes to anything that I say. Because maybe the experience that my soul intended to have down here is not the same experience that you may have necessarily intended to have. So, But I'm funny like that, I guess. But this feels like it's a move that we would have made that like didn't work out at all. But with the warrior returning alive, it can pull it from the graveyard. It's like you were shut down. Maybe it can be related to the environment that you were in and the condition that you were in and the harmony or disharmony between you and your environment whenever this first move was sort of made. Or maybe this is just some like aspect, some piece that's coming back from beyond the grave type of energy. What? I just noticed that too. And then we have the mysterious puppeteer, which is a warrior card with an effect. It says as long as this card remains face up on the field, the life points of this card. Girl, hold up. This is too much. I gotta use all these magnifying glasses just to read these cards. Oh wait. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So as long as this card remains face up on the field, the life points of this card's controller increase by 500 points for each additional monster summoned, excluding special summons, but including your opponent's monsters. So you get life points even when your opponent summons monsters with this card. As long as it remains face up on the field. Now, compulsive evacuation device could take this off of the field. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna see which traps affect which whatevers. This goes here, ready for interception, and then we have staunch defense and overdrive. I don't know what overdrive is. It's this little earth machine, but okay. Where did I literally just I'm the type of person to set stuff down and then just completely forget. Like I literally just had this. Oh, it's right here. Okay, I'll put it back. Staunch Defender. You can only activate this card when your opponent declares an attack. Select one face-up monster on your side of the field. During the turn this card is activated, your opponent can only attack the monster you selected. Your opponent must attack the selected monster with all face-up monster cards on his or her side of the field. And then we have Overdrive, which has a decent amount of attack and defense points. It has just as much defense as Mysterious Puppeteer, but if you wanted to save Mysterious Puppeteer, you could use these cards to redirect. Oh, and then we have Ready for Interception. Ready for Interception and Staunch Defender. This is tank energy, though. Maybe this is the warrior that's returning? I don't know. Hey, Kizzy Cat. I don't know why I just like wanted to grab these Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Oh, look, and then Monster Reborn at the bottom of the deck. So even if you do lose a monster, you can play this and it comes right back. That was your Yu-Gi-Oh card reading. I also have World of Warcraft cards and Pokemon cards somewhere. I'm sure. Oh. You said you're reading the Iliad, right, LB? The Trojan Horse card just came out. Or the Trojan Horse was at the cut. With Pitch Black Warwolf under it. But who are these? Lester Dragon 2 and Black Pendant. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. You were a druid healer when you played. Oh, snap. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to remember if I know where they are. I feel like I've literally just seen them. Because I opened them up expecting Pokemon cards and it was World of Warcraft. I played a Druid Hunter. So I started in Burning Crusades, but the Druid Hunter, a Night Elf Hunter. Night Elf Hunter was my first one. You were 14 when you played. I was a freshman in high school when I first started playing. So like, because I think I turned 16 junior year, so about the same age. Night Elf Druid Healer. I had a Night Elf Druid, but I was like, did not heal. I did not get very far with that Druid. So, where is this? Let me find these cards though. I know I've literally just seen them. Oh, I think I know where they are. Come on, brain. Let's work. What? I thought they were in here. I know I literally just saw these cards. They're not in there. Okay. This is helpful. One moment, please. Oh, there we go. They're in the back. Maybe. Is this my PlayStation camera? What? It is. I was wondering where this was. Let's see. I have the ramen broth. I don't know where they are, Reem. I don't think I'm going to be able to find them. Where's my phone? Give me 1 second. Let's see. I'm going to get in here. It's a jumble down here. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Yep. I think it's in the back. Oof. All right. I think they're in a bag, but I can't find them. Yeah, I have to. And I feel like I remember exactly what bag they're in. I kept seeing them too. I was like, what? What's in here? Thought it was Pokemon cards, but they were wild cards. So anyway. Oh, snap. Wait, Rob, you play WoW? Unholy Death Knight. Yeah, I was a Night Elf Druid Healer. I was a Night Elf Hunter. I was an Unholy Death Knight. Okay, Rob. Right, Reem? I'm like, okay. You love turning into a tree. You get someone to watch them play, and it was amazing. Let's go. I was addicted like 2 or 3 times. It fed my escapism. I'm clean now, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately, but so yeah. Who is this? Oh, look! The Dragon Tribe card came out with the dancing fairies, dragons and fairies. Look at that. Oops. All right, what else? Yeah, that's basically it. Just like don't listen to me. I'm down here to live it up as a human, which makes so much sense. Because I've always felt that, like, when you're floating as a spirit or whatever, it's like you don't really learn, you don't really grow. Like you do, but it's different. It's like you just know stuff. Like, but when you're here, you get to experience, you get to grow and learn and taste things and experience carnal pleasure, which is good. I wish I knew where those cards were now. I don't know what else to say. Who needs WoW when real life is WoW now? Well, I feel like that the choice of when to engage and when not to engage is a good thing to have. I just like having the choice. I log on when I want to play WoW. I log off when I don't want to play WoW. I don't have to worry about things just happening. I'll get one more of these. Why not? Oops. Okay. I said like one. Oops. Oh, nice. I caught him. Prohibition, Seven Tools of the Bandit, Blackluster Ritual, Cemetery Bomb, Princess of Tsurugi. I don't want these. Monster Reborn and Blackluster Soldier. We got the Ritual and the Soldier card, which is interesting. You're a level 33 Turtle Slinger IRL. What's the level cap, Rob? Level caps don't matter. So this is an interesting energy. It feels like Prohibition, Cemetery Bomb, and Seven Tools of the Bandit. These are all the ways in which we kind of sort of separate. Hey Eve, how you doing? These are all the ways in which we kind of sort of are separate from the us that exists outside of the physical suit, right? You bomb the cemetery so that you can't tell. It feels like the cemetery creates a connection where you can recognize by name, right? So the name is lost. The connection, the roads, the tools that would sort of more easily lead to a cohesive recollection prohibited. And then here are the seven tools of the bandit with that seven of cups energy, the myriad of distractions sort of down here, right? Now, Princess of Tsurugi has an effect that I'm going to have to read. Been drowning in muggle life. You don't know why when I drink and eat red meat. The way you drink and eat red meat, level 60. I almost got some rum the other day. I was like, I want to get some rum and watch Ragnarok. Have a little Rum Narok marathon. Go on Zoom, bring your own rum. It's BYOR. We'll watch Ragnarok. It'll be fun. Oh, Princess of Tsurugi. I wish I could find those cards now. Princess of Tsurugi. Inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent's life points for each spell and trap card on your opponent's side of the field when you flip it. Now, there are 3 spell and trap cards here, which would be 1,500 points of damage. I don't know if Blackluster. No, that doesn't stay on the field. So, like, traditional Yu Gi Oh! All right, Obi. Wait. Oh, I thought you said you got to split. You got to go Spice Rum. Spiced. Really? What? I still haven't had the rum, Eve. I haven't. Rum to rock. Who's hosting? Try Kraken. Oh. I feel like, have I ever had a rum? I'm more of a tequila guy and bourbon whiskeys like Jim Beam. I love Jim Beam. I love tequila. Like tequila, like that sensation where you can feel it like just dropping. That slow warmth just travel down your esophagus to your stomach. It feels like a hug. It feels like an internal hug just going right there. Just it's so good. It's the sensations for me. It's the sensation. Kraken is good. You're a wine and tequila girl. Okay. All right. You're you're a different person on tequila. I've heard a lot of people say that. One day when I was an RA, I had ultimate offering. Oh wow. When I was an RA, I had a meeting with my little RA boss and I wanted to like go to half price appetizers at the bar because we were both of age. But she was like, it may take a little longer, and we only had a half an hour. So I convinced the person that was after me because she was also of age. I was like, hey, like, let's go to the bar for our one on ones and get like half price appetizers. And she was like, okay, yeah, cool. And so we go there, we get our half price appetizers. I felt like a drink. I'm the type of like when I want to drink, I drink. I'm a day drinker. I can be. I don't like get drunk. I just like to drink. And so I got a tequila sunrise, I think, and like the one person I went with, she was like, "Oh, I can't have tequila. It's like it does something to me." I was like, "Girl, like I like it." Like, and then apparently everybody on staff knew that I liked tequila, and for a good minute, it was like every time I saw somebody, they would mention tequila, and I'm like, okay. Well, I thought that these one-on-ones were like private. I thought that what we shared in this space between us was between us. So how everybody know I had tequila? But it was fun. It was fine. Hey, Didi. All right, let me see what y'all say. Tequila is the only alcohol that's a stimulant. Are you serious? I didn't know that. Huh. So, like, if you drink tequila and other liquors, do they cancel each other out? I'm just playing. You're a better person on tequila. Oh. Eve is pretty much a wino. I don't really like grape wines. I'm not a huge fan for some reason, which is like most wine. Always a happy drunk, and you get lovey dovey. Oh, that's sweet, Rob. Tequila, water, and a splash of lemonade. Ooh. Sunrise is too much sugar. Okay, okay. Tequila makes really bad ideas sound really good. You were a bartender for 10 years. Yeah, you did say that. No, they make you throw up. Okay, so these are the Yu-Gi-Ohs. What else do I have? What's some like really random things I can do? Oh, well, none of those are. Do I have a book in there? Hold up, I'll be right back. You pretty much exclusively drink liquor neat or on the rocks. Let's see. Oh wow, well, maybe I could have made a different choice. So I had this collector's edition box for Cataclysm, and I think it has a book in it. So, oh, it does have a book. We're just gonna open it up and see. Oh, look at this. Does it have a disc in it? It does. Wow. I'm just gonna open the book to a random page, and we'll see. We'll see what's up. A single malt. Ooh. I don't think I've ever tried a scotch. Like I haven't experienced like when it comes to the realm of alcohol. I'm fairly. Oh no, the last expansion was either Battle for Azeroth. I think there's a Shadowlands that came out, and like I got one of them, but like my guild isn't active anymore, so it's not the same. This was the one. Let's see. Ooh, is this the Maelstrom? I think this is the Maelstrom. So we got Maelstrom energy. Oh my gosh, we should. That would be so fun. Oh my gosh. ABCs of whiskey, American, bourbon, Canadian, and Scotch. Oh, that looks like the inside of your mind. Right? I did think about that, Rain. I was like, the Vortex? No, I thought about your Vortex. I didn't even think about the one that I saw. And it's like there's this Vortex below and this sort of like whirlpool above. So it's like you can't escape it. Oh wow. I wish I could find those World of Warcraft cards now. Sometimes I like just going for random things. It is my personal belief that whatever like spirit can use like literally anything and everything to talk and communicate. So that's why I use like literally everything and anything. So I wish I could find those cards. Because I want to get something on this like maelstrom energy. It's on page 117. The whirlpool looks like it's going to the vortex below. Yeah. The thing about this, though, it feels like the whirlpool will go like, because it goes inside of the vortex. And so the whirlpool may actually be the safest way to traverse this. Because it feels like if you just enter from the outside, you may sort of like get drowned. But this whirlpool, it goes like straight through it. I mean, there's still water in the whirlpool, so you would you would have to deal with that. But pull tarot on it. Which one? Which deck do I want to use? What deck do I use for this? What deck do I use? Oh my gosh, the dust. Let's see. I have the needle, as Russ would say. So we're passing past, present, future, everything. And it kind of sort of does look like it's like if this was like a yarn or a string, how it's like it's thicker on the end, but as you twist it, it gets like thinner and thinner to the point where it can pass through the eye of the needle, which would be there. That's why it's like twisting. Okay, work. And then like I've talked about anglerfishes before. On the other page, there is like this little. Can you see it? The anglerfish and this little eel dragon thingy, water spirit. These like little lights in here. Feels like both ends. Oh, yeah. The Mystical Dreams Tarot. Oops. Feels like both ends of the vortex want to slam shut like a book. Wormhole energy. This is like story time with Pancake Pet. Oh, if I had the. I remember one time I was playing with. I think I've talked about it before, but I was doing a story time with the Wild Unknown, and a story basically came out of. Hey, Amanda! A story basically came out of a being that created a world in which it was so separate from itself that it forgot, but it wanted to remember. It wanted to experience getting to know itself. And so it created like this whole thing. That was a fun story. Okay, let me read this because I'm very interested to see this vortex that LB is speaking of. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Pancake parables. Ooh, let me retitle. I'm gonna thank you for the title, LB. Pancake. Ooh, that's a lowercase p. Pancake parables. 7-9. How are you doing, Amanda? How's everyone doing? For anyone who I haven't asked, I think the lights like the title. It's a wormhole energy. Like you have to hold that space and make your way up the center of the vortex, or you get trapped in the wormhole. Oh, that sounds intense. So I have. Hey, there's a shark here. Okay. So about this vortexy wormhole, Eye of the Storm, the Maelstrom. Something about it does feel a little arcane. Reminds you of Goosebumps, like you get trapped in the book, or the Dollhouse. Sounds like what we're all going through. Birth. Oh, I can see that. Ooh, I was never glad to hear it, Amanda. The vortex represents our last nerve. The freaky Willy Wonka boat ride. Yeah. And they're like, is this man okay? Like, is he? I would have been like, I'd like to go home now, please. Thank you. I'm good. I've seen enough of the factory. I can experience this from the store when I go and get the candy. Thanks. I don't want to die. Isn't that after like Augustus Gloop got like went up the chute or something? Still gives you the creeps. Yeah. Okay. So this Maelstrom. This almost reminds me of Capricorn too. Because when I was looking for the thumbnail for Capricorn, I wanted like an underwater mountain. That's what it felt like. It's like you're trying to scale a mountain to avoid the water, but it's all underwater anyway. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. The first card out is the Four of Pentacles. And it's giving me an energy. It's like this is in like that maelstrom is inside of the seed. and it's got roots. It's starting to branch out a little bit. Let's see. Let's continue. Willy Wonka scared you when you were younger. Like Thriller, like Michael Jackson Thriller, I was like terrified. I would have recurring nightmares about Michael Jackson with yellow eyes when I was young. Even listening to the song and not watching the music video just like scared me. Ooh. Well, we have this pair again. The lovers at the bottom of the deck. The Lady of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles came out. Look at that. Look at her heart space. Right? Those colors are similar-ish. Similar-ish to this maelstrom. But this card, and then the Divine Tower. What is this? Because it's like they're obviously in a place of asking, if not begging, and she's giving. I feel like it's literally like silent. It's like dead silent. The Wisdom Teacher with the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Calm before the storm energy? It could be. But I feel like in the calm before the storm, there's something that tells you that the storm is coming. Reminds you of It reminds you of tunneling, remote viewing. Ooh. Hey, Sacred Seers. Are we already in the storm? Okay. It almost feels like this is backwards. Feels like these three actually read backwards. This is us in a space of like being prepared for after. This feels like us being prepared for this time, for the time when the storm comes. This is when the storm happens. This is us afterward. Or it's someone. After the storm, it's like it gives food and shelter to those who were affected. We are about to move into the yellow electric seed year. And then we have this person harnessing and integrating with the forces of nature. This, it reminds me of, sounds like Ned Stark, Winter is Coming. I have not seen Game of Thrones. I still haven't seen it. I know that Ned Stark and Sansa Stark are from Game of Thrones, and there's like Cersei, I think, and that one girl. Was it like Anna? I don't know what her name is. I like her. I don't know anything about her, but I know I like her. We don't like Cersei. And there was something about a wedding, the red wedding. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" Okay, this this is a soul contract energy. This is you and the divine. Before you incarnated, you like this is gonna happen at some time, at some point, right? Then the thing happens, right? And it is with the divine tower, it is almost this energy of like being plunged into a time of darkness because like the sun is in the mouth. And like when the mouth closes, you don't see anything. Well, I guess you'll see the light coming out of the eyes, but it's like the moon is here, right? So this is the service that we found ourselves in after the storm sort of struck. And this service, again, it's like it reflects back to this. So that's an energy. It's like, okay, you're doing, regardless of how consciously or not, you know it. It's like you're doing part of what you were intended to do. And maybe from this act of service, from this alignment, now we come into this space where we're able to know more, where it's like we come into a space of knowing more of what our contract was. And that is what gets us to, it's like now we can come into a higher level of alignment. And that's what's going to get this seed that's been like fairly dormant, like this is as much as it could grow. It's going to get it to grow into a mighty tree or into whatever it is, right? It could be an onion. You thought it was a potato, it turned out to be an onion. Yeah, I know. Like, I was like all about high fantasy and dragons and stuff like that. I don't know why I never watched it. I was one summer, um, a lot of my coworkers were like binging it, and I was more interested in isolation. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Even though I was kind of low key interested, so sometimes I would walk through and like peek out of the side of my eye and just like listen, but I wouldn't actually sit down and watch it with them because I, you know, I've grown a lot since then. Hey Danielle. Oh, they got magic too. Okay, yeah. All right. So that's what this feels like. And so this maelstrom, this is like all of who you are, all that was intended for you, now like making its way to you in your reality. But it's like when it touches down in your life, it causes this storm. And this is the eye of the storm. That's the alignment where it's, we can receive all of this. But if we're on the peripheral of that, we kind of sort of get caught up in it. We get lost in it, lost in the events type of energy. Okay. That took a second to figure out. So has this storm already struck? Maybe. Probably. I want to pull one of these. I'm always nervous to use this deck. I'm like, I want something really good, but it might be a little not. I wish I could have found my World of Warcraft cards. It resonates. What is it really? I might have to check that out. Always take everything as it resonates again. One card for this maelstromy, just like energy. Almost. You're gonna have to do better than that. Uh oh, it's an hour. It's an hour. I gotta shut this down soon. I have new time restraints for I don't know why. It's interesting because it feels like okay. Who are you? Hello? Trust. Versatility. So there's love, there's self love, love, trust. Versatility is the card that came out. I'm gonna need one more. It's this energy. It's like I turned back into a pancake after an hour. Maybe after an hour and a half, I just like to leave myself that buffer space. Don't want anything too crazy to happen. Yeah, that's why I like them too. I was like, ooh. Now I actually intended to get the lighter version. I thought it was the lighter version, but it's not. Just you don't want to know what happens, Rob, after an hour. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with it. It's been a minute. It's this energy. It's like when I'm shuffling, I feel like I can almost hear it, but when I stop and listen, I don't hear anything. When I stop and listen, it's silent. So it's this energy. It's like the winds and the storm are the way, in a way, and it's kind of sort of that flow state. Yeah, it is. Oh, but I showed this card to one of my friends because she asked for a few cards or something. She was like, "Is that a marijuana leaf?" I was like, "Yeah, I think it is." But it's versatility. It makes sense. And the thing about that, so I've heard that the reason why um, the devil's lettuce was stigmatized as heavily as it was because of the companies and industries that it affected. So it's like you can use hemp to make like clothes, you can use it to make paper, it's medicinal. It's like it was so versatile and our bodies just naturally like we have receptors and everything for it. Like we're wired to be able to interact with the plant. But it's like there was a lot of money that was sort of lost because of this one thing in a way. So somebody said it was more for the money than anything else. Oh well, there you go. Danielle coming in with the info. I think the message is puff puff pass. So who's going live next, Rob? Who's going live next if we pass it? I'm just playing. But it's almost this energy of like all of the things that we miss out on for like singular reasons, right? It's like, well, just because like the painkiller industry or the tobacco industry lobbyists or the paper people, it's like they would see us lose all other uses for this plant to suit their like sort of one end. And I think that's a little bit of this like it's almost this energy of like we don't know how much we have to lose or how much we have to gain by going through this process, right? Because it's like if we're down here, like if this is what we experience, like even if you go here, it's wider here. You go here, it's wider there. You go here, it's wider here. It gets wider and wider and wider. But like this is like we experience so much of it. And it's almost like don't limit your experience or don't cut yourself off based on what is sort of like there in the moment type of energy because there's so much more to come. Maybe. Same with the oil industry killing alternative energy sources. Someone, someone conjure a portal and pass the gotcha. Oh my gosh! Philip Morris and them should just switch to growing hemp. Thank you. I'm like, at first, I'm like, okay. And again, it's this energy. It's like, if I try to stop and look at it, it goes quiet. But if I keep like, if I build up some momentum, then it sort of like reveals itself. Oh, girl, that's a whole bunch. Ask body. Well, your body says I have receptors for the plant. So plant good, plant good, people bad. I'm just playing. Okay. What else is there? Is that it? No. One more. Okay. We might have to wait a second for this card to come out. There is an energy of like building anticipation as well. I think this is also it's going to be interesting because it feels like us learning certainty and sureness is going to be another piece of this in a way. And that's something that like I love uncertain language. I love saying take it as it resonates and maybe and potentially because it releases like accountability or responsibility or it's easier to whatever, but I'm not supposed to be doing that as much, so we'll see. Okay. Would love hemp jeans, but they're expensive. Oh wow. I have this hand sanitizer. I got this hand sanitizer. One of my friends, she was on campus, and so there was a care package, and it came with something that I don't even know what it is, some alcohol wipes, and this hand sanitizer. And I use the hand sanitizer. I'm like, this smells like marijuana. It smells like it, and I got a little bit of a sensitive nose to it for some reason. Like I could literally smell it outside of the building when I went back to school one day. I was like, "Is that weed?" And my mom was like, "What are you talking about?" And then we walked in the building. She was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know why my nose is so sensitive to it. It just is." And she smelled it, and she was like, "Yeah, oh, it's 100% vegan. I didn't know that." It says that there are 8 wellness ingredients, so maybe one of the wellness ingredients is a little bit of something I don't know. She's such a benevolent frequency. It has been calling you lately. What? Hold up, wait. Oh, the okay. Even in the middle of a field with no one for miles, her aroma envelops you. So strange. She holds a lot of mystery within her because she was silenced. All right. I know that there's one more in here. I got a feeling like it's going to take a minute to come out. So enjoy Tapestry Saturn while you wait. It's been a little synchronicity overload. Your boyfriend is a huge stoner. You always buy hemp soap and stuff for him as a joke. That's funny. See, maybe there's something in it. The one time I had an edible, it was my only experience with weed. I ate way too much. Everyone I know who smokes said you should not have gone to an edible first. You should have smoked first. I was like hallucinating. I was like tripping. My whole like every joint in my body was tingling. I couldn't move. And then it's like I was like in the cosmic classroom, time and timelines 101, and it was like showing me how time works and these fixed points in time that lead to other sections of like fluid time. And then like I was taken like through my entire life and how my mom has been there for me the whole time. And I was in this space of kind of sort of feeling a little isolated, and I just started to cry because I was like, wow, like my mom is awesome, she's been there through all of the breakdowns and everything. Like my brain just would not stop. I literally had to crawl to the toilet at like 3 in the morning because I couldn't walk. And I missed LA twice. So yeah, I know that now. I wish I had known that. Compassion just came out. This is interesting though because it's reminding me of Sagittarius. Sagittarius had the Fool, and then they had the Eight of Wands. And like first, the Fool was just the horns, and then the Eight of Wands, it was the crown, the third eye, the throat. and horns, and now it's like it's grown out even more. I feel like there's also some kind of tie to this. And I love that it's compassion because that's what this Ace of Pentacles is showing, right? Compassion for others and compassion for self. And the space that creates to welcome certain things. That doesn't feel like the end, though. So I'll get one more. Oh yeah, no, Amanda, no, no. I didn't even know that you could trip. I didn't know you could like go on a full trip just on like marijuana. I didn't know it. I didn't know that we could do it. I didn't know until I had that. I had, and one of my other friends, he said that one day, like I can't remember if it was an edible for him, but he saw like 40 different versions of himself when he was in a space of like sort of questioning himself. It was like, it's intense. I didn't know. It's classified as a hallucinogenic drug. Nobody told me. Like when people talk about it, they're just like, oh yeah, like you're so chill and you're so calm and you'll get the munchies. I'm like, okay. Like, and then it all hit me at once. I was like, whoa, I'm starting to feel weird. What's happening? Okay. See you later, Reem. Have fun at the Muggle meeting. Oh my gosh. Well, there you go, Amanda. I'm glad that you could be here for this. Ooh, okay. So this card is actually sitting between versatility and compassion. And it's destruction. Of course, it's destruction. Come through, Shiva energy. Bottom of the deck is Underworld. Underworld destruction is this versatility of compassion. It's compassion in all the ways that we can show compassion, in all the ways that we can be and embody compassion. That's what sort of frees us of underworld influences. And maybe that's where like this vortex from above, maybe it's like it's penetrating right to the underworld. Now that's heavy. This is a very, like, if this is what we're going up, because I did kind of see it that way. It's like that's in, well, it's the eye of it. So in the eye, it's calmer, right? And in this destruction card, there are like so many leaves that it's that energy of like what grows after the storm, what comes after. Right? This is the energy of the space that's being cleared and stuff like that. And then we also have this little light show at the bottom. Oh, look. There's like a similar crowny third eye growth type of energy. Well, it feels like it's more third eye growth in this card. Oops, this card. And it feels more like the crown here. And then I guess this would be the throat. Okay. Oh, look, dare to dream. Dare to dream, and then there's trust again. Trust, dare to dream, and the destruction of the underworld. So, looks like two eyes, two birds. Oh, yeah, I think it is. Because, like, these would be like the wings down here. And then there's like the little beak, kinda. A little bit. A little bit. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Withdraw. Well, that's what I got. This was fun. This was interesting. Yeah. So maybe don't start with, and if you do start with an edible, maybe a small one. I had like one of those like fruity pebble Rice Krispie treat things, and it was thick. It was like that thick, and it was like that much. So like this by like this. And my cousin was like, "Oh, you're a big guy. Like you're a big guy. You'll be fine." And I was like, part of me knew that I was not going to be fine. But we were in California. I was like, it's legal here. And I knew he would eventually offer it to me because he's very much so the stoner type. And I was like, well, if he offers it, then I'll take it because it's legal. Was not in control of my body at all. I could just like lie there. That was it. And feel like it probably triggered an out of body experience for me. Because it's like, first, I'm like, I got to go lay down. All of my joints are like tingling. I can't move anything. And then, like, everyone, I was like in there tripping. And then my mom was like, leave him alone, leave him alone. And I was talking to my mom, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm high, and I'm talking to my mom. Like, she's like, are you okay, son? Are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. And then I was just off in the cosmos learning about time or whatever. I'm like, okay, all right. So, final message from, oh, that was quick. Ooh, the pillar. The pillar in this deck is a gateway. When we sort of ascend to a certain level and we reach out to spirit and spirit meets us at this level rather than meeting us down here, it creates the framework for this pillar, this gateway. The pillar is also the Empress in the tarot. Bottom of the deck is transmute with that queen bee energy and that brand new shiny third eye. This is like it goes like that's vision that goes far beyond. Like that's like Heimdall levels of like you can peer beyond the portal. So in the tarot, they remove gender. So the Empress is the pillar, the Emperor is the anchor, the kings are sovereigns. No, the kings are rulers and the queens are sovereigns. So that's how the pillar is the Empress in the tarot. Oshun. Ooh. Wait, what did Rob say? Mom, Dorito stat. That would be pancake time. Exactly. It's interesting because my grandma was making pancakes. And she was like, I don't know why like my pancakes don't taste like. She was like, I mastered the pancake formula before we left. She was using baking, whichever baking thing you're not supposed to use to make the pancakes is what she was using. And then she figured it out. She was like, oh, that's why the pancakes taste terrible. Her homemade pancakes were like good though. They were good. She needed to make those again. Maybe I should just go in there, get some flour and some water and some whatever else. Go ham on some pancakes. I'm starting to get hungry now. I still haven't eaten yet today. The Empress card is your card. That's why you asked. Gotcha. No problem. So, from the Mystical Dreams Tarot. Oh, that was too quick. Bottom of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles. This was, oh my gosh, there it is right there. I was going to say this was masculine energy being in the space of filling its own cup. And then there's literally the ritual. There's the magic in which he's like starting to fill it up. Under that is the Ouroboros. Ouroboros speaks to me like this Ouroboros has legs, right? This is something that was set in motion before what transpired at the Garden of Eden when the snake was cursed to slither on its belly. This is when the snake still had legs. And it's this energy, and there has been a thread of energy that was like gaining your wings without losing your legs, right? Because it's like first the snake is cursed to slither, it loses its legs, and then the snake eventually, through its own journey, becomes the Quetzalcoatl, where it gains wings, and it's the winged serpent. But it's almost like a snake that gains its wings but retains its legs is a dragon. It's like for us to gain our wings without needing to lose our legs. I don't know. That's just how it came. Take it as it resonates. And this is what this energy needs to do to sort of find wholeness within itself. That was at the bottom of the deck. The cards that came out. Oh my gosh! Corey was talking about Sophia earlier, and it reminded me of this deck because there's a Sophia card. What? Wait. So the Dreamer of Swords, Sophia, and the Wise Fox. It's interesting because Sophia also has this tridenty pitchfork thing. And it almost reminds me of Shiva's Trishula. Maybe? I gotta Google this. I'm Googling it real quick. Trishul, right? Shiva's Trishula, right? Right? Go to images. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Not entirely, but it reminds me of that. It reminds me of Shiva's Trishula, or Trishula. And so Shiva energy is coming through again in this. But it's the female embodiment of Shiva, which could be a Kali energy. There is something you see here. It's like this is the source of all of this magic that, like, her ritual. It's like, look at hers, and then, like, look at his. Hey, look, there's some lightning on the hands. Why did I just heard Zeus from Disney's Hercules when he's like, I need more thunderbolts, whatever, when he's like, bring me more thunderbolts. When the Titans invaded, like, this is what he does. This is what she does. They're similar in nature, but like his cup is on the ground, her cup is in the air. And then there's the fish of knowledge. Shout out to Finn. And she's dancing with death in this wise fox energy. I just saw, maybe it was LB. Oh my gosh, I've seen that movie so many times, Amanda. Disney's Hercules got me through college. When I was like depressed and miserable in my room, Disney's Hercules almost constantly. Also, when I needed to do homework, Disney's Hercules. When I was coming out of a depressive slump and I had like to catch up on weeks or months of class that I missed, Disney's Hercules. But I don't remember if it was LB who shared it on her Instagram story today, or if it was on Twitter somewhere. But it was like someone, it was like when you get used to, maybe it wasn't LB. It was like, you just got LARPing in your head when I said Thunderbolts. Hey, I LARPed for a little bit. I had to stop because the seasons changed, but I slew Ogre. And everybody, like, even I myself, like I thought I was done for. Somehow it was like when I just started, I was not the best, but I wasn't the worst. And I like it ended up being me and Ogre. Ogre was like this dude who's even taller than I am. Like if he was pushing 7 feet tall, I wouldn't be surprised. And somehow I managed up in the final with him. And when they said start, like warrior instinct, just like it came in my brain. I couldn't control it. I was like already moving, and I had a slicey weapon, and I stepped forward and I did a wide swing, just impaled him right there, just cut his stomach open. I'm glad he did like jump back a little bit, and I'm glad he did, or else that probably would have hurt. But again, the I just moved because I was like, oh crap, like I'm about to lose. I was like, I'm just gonna go for it, and it was over in like 2 seconds because as soon as we started, I made that lunging attack and I sliced them open. It was LARPing, okay, so don't use your imagination. But I was like, wow, that goes down in my. That's like one of the things I'm the proudest of, and it may be silly, but. And then like there was somebody like she wasn't even watching. She was like, "Whoa." And I was like, yeah, like I got him in the stomach. And she thought like I stabbed him. And she was gonna be like, well, you don't have a stabby weapon. I was like, no, I didn't stab, I sliced. Like I cut. I was like, okay. Anyway, there was a meme earlier. It was like when you realize, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Albino. I think I know who it was. It was like when you realize that like you're an eternal being and you lose your fear of death. And it was this girl like with an arrow in her chest and she was like rolling her eyes. And it's like, oh, an arrow, how creative. It reminds me of that energy. But there's a wisdom in this. And knowing that it's a transition between seasons and cycles. And we kind of have the same figure in all of these, which was also the same figure in the Lady of Pentacles in that Ace of Pentacles. This is like it's coming in a very high priestess subconsciously space type of way. This feeling of your cup, this return of all that is you, that's going to have you sort of dancing through a transition cycle rather than like in a Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles energy. It's like you're going to give yourself into whatever this storm is creating within you. Now, there may be, some resistances and things along the way, of course. Um, wow. I didn't necessarily expect that from the art book, but let's get one more page. I'm feeling this one. This looks like the Dwarf City. Why can't I remember it? I can't remember it right now. But it's like the Dwarf City. What was it? Stormwind. Darnassus was for the Night Elves. I can't remember the city. Maybe it started with the O. Oh, this is gonna bother me. I think this was the auction house or somewhere around there, maybe. Maybe it was in a different part. But this is the one that had the Great Forage in it. And it makes sense because it was the Dwarf City. And the Gnomes, because the Gnomes lost their city, Gnomergon. But I think they reclaim it at some point. I don't know. But it's a very, like, not necessarily Akashic Recordsy type of energy, but it's an energy of, like, civilizations and times that have come before. It's like, because, doors sort of live underground. And so it's like, there's been a lot that's been built on top of this, but it's like excavating and rediscovering all of this. And in that, it's almost like there's an energy of there are some things from this lifetime. Maybe it's as simple as limitations that we sacrifice. And it reminds me of the Samyaza card. I'll get it and read it. Hello? Oh, here it is. It's gold, so it should be easy to find quickly. Here it is. As the angel sang, a single speck of something passed through the light and cast a tiny shadow down on the earth. Beneath the stars, that shadow looked back at the heavens and saw himself for the first time. He gave himself his own name and turned his back on the existence he'd been granted by the universe. One by one, Samyaza called out for his brethren, and they bowed to meet him. He was the giver of names, Lord and King. There was to be none before him and none after. But it's that energy of something passed through the light and cast a tiny shadow down on the earth. Beneath the stars, that shadow looked back at the heavens and saw himself for the first time. I think that's what we're in the space of now. And that was this energy of like us, again, like traveling up the maelstrom, discovering more and more and more of our potential, what we're capable of, like the love of God, creator, and stuff like that, beyond the limitations of what we experience in our reality. And then he had to make a choice, right? He gave himself his own name and turned his back on the existence he'd been granted by the universe. And it feels like that's what this energy is. It's starting to let go of some of the things, some of the ties and bonds that we've established, maybe, to make ourselves available to receive more truth or more of who we are. I don't know. Right? It's this whole process. This is a whole process. So, yeah, maybe it isn't too far off of what I was saying earlier. As far as the storm comes in and we find ourselves in a certain way of service, but in that service, we discover more about ourselves. And then we start to fulfill that which we are meant to in whatever way. And we can turn compassion on ourselves and on others and claim more and more and more. And then, what we gratefully leave behind. I don't know. I do think it's interesting, though, that we see his process at the bottom, and the cards that came out were her process, right? And they're both sort of doing this cut moon magic, whatever, but in different ways. Oh, look! That's also like a tiny little maelstrom. What? Going up to fill the moon. Yep, yep, yep. As always, though, take it as it resonates. All right, all right. Those cards were dusty. That's gross. I still feel the dust in my nose. All right, two more. The Hierophant turned over. This is speaking. Where did that come out? It was the seven tools of the bandit. It was prohibition and the other card. And I was like, these are all the things that keep us separate from ourselves. Because the Hierophant, it can only give us this like partial crescent moon. This is as much as the Hierophant can kind of sort of reveal to us about ourselves. And it's not that it's untrue, even in its light. It's just it's not designed to give us everything. It's designed to introduce us and to serve as liaison when we need it. But at some point, we should sort of go and learn the divine for ourselves, and we should fill that moon to full. Now, the Cancer new moon is also today, but all right, see you later, Rob. See you later, Sacred Seers. This is shutting down. Oh, it's been over an hour and a half. And it's just, oh, look, there's a person in the back. There's the person in the back filling up their own moon. Again, it's about going beyond the Hierophant and seeking the divine for yourself. That's what that person is in the back doing, in whatever way works for them, right? Love that energy. I love it. And then on the other side is the dream angel. Waiting for you. All right. Well, that is what I got. I hope you all have a good whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that wherever your path leads you, you find whatever you need to get there as safe and secure and of sound mind as possible. Um, and yeah, thank you all for being here. This was interesting. It was definitely interesting. I'm gonna have to find my World of Warcraft cards, but yeah, I'll catch you later. No problem. I am glad to be of service. I mean, the storm was just as much of a catalyst for me as it was, I'm sure, for anyone else who needed it. So, had the storm not come, I probably would have never spoken. And had I never spoken, I would have never discovered all that I have to speak of or whatever. I don't know. No problem, no problem. Glad to be of service. I will catch you all later.